So hello everyone and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We're live here in the Full Speed Event Studio. We're back from the World Cyclocross Championships, which were absolutely off the scale. It was great to be putting words to the action, and a few of you, I'm sure, will have managed to catch me either on the BBC or going out around the world feed. Of course, great job done by Ian and all the gang on the local feeds on the GCN and Eurosport as well. And great to record with Ian on the crosscast. Now, we are heading for something slightly different because we are in the dusty and dry world of Watopia's Fuego Flats for our start and finish of the ride today. Usual expedition has taken a slightly different turn because we're going for a real long one today in terms of distance, 55-kilometre ride. And the man who's chosen it is the one and only Russ Downing. So Russ choosing the routes and the putting the plan together. Russ going to be taking us out and around the circuit. Now, the Watopia waistband at 55k has a relatively long lead-in. We go from our riders who are down in the pens and slowly assembling at the moment and go out along what is a 2.4 kilometre run-in. This is also the first time our riders will get a long look at the run in to the start. So we follow our blue blob. It comes out from the pen along that red section of leading through the sprint and then out on to this circuit proper. We then do two full laps. So we start off in the flats of Fuego Flats, head round up on to the side of Titans, diving off the side, going out around the Italian villas, going round the side of the volcano, climbing up the volcano around into towards Fuego Flats, and that is 25.5k. We do that twice. Yes, you heard me, twice. So it's going to be about keeping this group together and carrying as many people for as long as we can through to that main part of the route. Now, the man who is going to be up in the pace will be Russ, the man who is going to be looking after everybody. It is going to be Kooslugs, which is Michael Hutchinson, who is here. Michael, on one of his infamously dry rides, he's only got the 1 pint in hand in the picture, and great to see that he is our red beacon. Even had the red stripes on for this particular picture that we got of our riders. Now, the riders won't be heading back on any particularly big climbs today because this is our profile in its entirety. 2 laps of this. It is essentially pancake flat. We have head out, and as you can see, that little run to the start is relatively flat. There's nothing to trouble the riders to go through the oasis. That's the whole right-hand side of the course and through in back. Directly below the start, you can see that slight rise around about that 8-kilometre marker point. And that 8k marker point is where we have the rising towards Titans. We then drop down underneath the sea, and you can see that coming at 10 through to 11 kilometres, the low point of the course. The next long drag is a drag up to Italian villas, so kicking out from the tunnels and up through Italian villas, then round the side of the villas and going down to the volcano very quickly indeed, so we don't go through the sprint point. We drop along the seashore around the volcano at 17k. We then come back out from the volcano at 19 kilometres over that long glass bridge. That is the 19 to 19.5k marker. Drop down through the standard downtown start finish area. That's around the side of the 20 to 21k, 20.5k being that point. And then a slight rise back into the deserts. It is going to be fast. It is flat. It is going to be about staying in the draft, so cooperation in the group is going to be absolutely key. Now, as you can see, the riders are lined up, they're just over there, and they are all here as part of Continental Month on the Donny Chaingang. We have some great people who basically donate to the gang every month, all the way in to the end of the season, and those people are put into draws. And we just seen Jimmy Allen win his body weight. Oh no, it's not quite his body weight, but a whole year's supply of Velo Skin chamois cream. So great to see he's got that, some bottles, some caps, and all sorts of bits and pieces. We've got some great giveaways. Can't quite tell you exactly what they are yet. Just a little teaser at the moment. But Continental looking after everybody. Shelley, of course, one of the key supporters. And got to say, the gang in Aberystwyth doing an amazing job of looking after Russ and myself. Got to say, over the years, it's always been my tyre of choice, from even from the track days with the Continental tubs on right the way through to riding on the tyres. And I'm actually just looking across at the bike there with the 4 seasons on the standard winter bike tyres. It's actually in the studio for once, makes a change. So, going to be bringing that out and that giveaway to the riders. Don't forget, if you're a member of the gang, get on, use those discount codes. We want to say thank you to you, and a big thank you to our commercial supporters who look after the members of the gang, and the members of the gang keep the show on the road. It's that straightforward. So let's ready to dive down in with our riders here. Make sure that you stay with the rider and stay with the yellow beacon if you are waiting to go. And as you can see, the riders, they're up and away, so let's jump in with them. Here we go. Let's see who's going to take us out from that start. We'll go out with Simon Oxenham. So the riders just making the way out from that starting pen. And the only avatar that should be left should in theory be the one of our Full Speed Events avatar, just in with Mark Grant, who's just coming out here. So the riders off, away and out from the pens, and the group quite well strung out. Going to need a little bit of holding in together. So Mark Grant going to be the last rider on the road. I know the gang just going to get itself in together. I think Simon Oxenham just waited to just give a little bit of assistance there. We know Simon, one of our real fast riders. So Steve Wilson with the Cyclocross World's Beer Legs on. That basically refers to the sheer volume of dancing in the beer tent as the riders continue to try and push themselves back up into the groups. So let's see how they're going. So looks like the back of this group just trying to join with the front, really key at this stage to stay in. And quick reminder, we do have the late join on. Really key, guys, if you lose the group, then get yourselves in, do a rejoin. Always very, very important. So the gang making its way together here in Continental Thursday and Continental February even. You can tell I used a lot of words up over the weekend at the World Championships. So the group rolling. The helicopter no doubt going to show a pretty compact bunch with a bit of luck at the moment as we just take our cameras out a little bit, just hovering up over the group here. Almost everybody in and together. So key today is to stay in the group, save your energy, save your legs, use the ride to make sure that you stay in with the pack. The less energy you use on the way round, the easier this will be throughout the duration of the ride, and the smoother the ride will be. Everybody benefits when we stay as a pack. That's kind of how it works. So the group, as you can see, just making their way in around the side of the desert at the moment, and they're going to be on the run in towards the rock arch. So going up the rock arch, this is our start finish line of the circuit proper. So we've got 2 lots of 25.5k from here as we go in underneath that archway. So 2 times 25.5, old school maths is 51k. to go. So the riders in and through under the ice. The group just making its way in and along, and you can just see the pack rolling along nicely here today. So group all together, pack all together. 2 laps basically to go as we hit the line that time. So a few people having issues. David Hopkins says keep having dropouts, keep pushing on. If in doubt, real key today, jump in, jump out for the first half an hour till you get a stable connection. Most dropouts, almost 90+%, are to do with the amount of internet in your building going in and out. But even here, where we actually have monitors on all of our lines and speed and our processing speed, etc., we have been getting 1 or 2. Not so much dropouts, but glitches. So when it just freezes and moves on and the re-renders itself, and that is 100% not in the system here. We know that, and it is all down to the volume of different worlds, the people moving into different places, the speed of everything being processed, and the amount of the detail that's on the graphics now. Those of us who can remember the very first world's very, very different. So Mr. Mason has just realised the length of this. Blooming long today, mate. It's a proper long one. Got my splicing. Big bottle of OTE in on board. So the OTE packed on board, ready to go. We've got the OTE protein bus just tucked on one side, ready to refuel. Don't need the chamois cream on the way through. Got a nice comfy seat in the studio today. We do have a stop arranged at Nonna's on, in theory, halfway around the route today for a proper sit-down feed, old Tour de France style. Probably won't actually make that, sadly. So our rider's looking good on the way through. Let's see how they're going. So when it goes to Pumpkin, anything past 60k? Yep, definitely. How that feeling? Late tea tonight. Tea. Don't get any of those on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday anymore. That's a fondly remembered fact of life, that one. Nat Crease has brought snacks to right. It's good to have Thomas Donny back in with the groups. To everybody, is glad to be back. And the group, the riders, just heading in towards the tunnels at the moment. Take us through the gorge in towards the Oasis proper. Some really nice scenery on the way around. You can tell that we are expecting a long one. We're already talking on scenery. We're on the wide shots. Even take our drone camera, just fly it through here, just for the heck of it, just so that we can try and make sure that we don't hit the rock walls on the way through. Some really fast riders actually on the gang tonight, so when it does end up pedal to the metal, then expect to see this go very quick indeed. And the pack nicely together here. We've seen Joe Blackburn, looks like Tracy Seeley in there. And looks to be potentially Jimmy Mack in here. Certainly got Isaac Oliver, Harry Howler in here. Looks like Keith Richardson, Bobby Mason definitely on board. There are a real cast of characters as come in and through. And looks like all riding well. So the back of the group just stretching out a little bit as we go up on that slight incline up around the edge, and then they're going to be dropping back down again. Some great scenery here. Love this section coming through. It adds a little bit more interest into the full-on desert scenery. Keeps the gradient low, but still keeps things interesting. As we're about to go head away from our waterfalls and head across through out into the desert. So just jumping in with Chris once again here, 100 riders. So a quick reminder, guys: if you're on the front, you're not going to see the back. If you're on the back, you're not going to see the front. Really important. And then we've got Mr. James on board, and Rob, if you are watching on the coverage, mate, I suspect you're going to need to jump out and jump back in again. You aren't going to make back 5 minute gap. That ain't going to happen. So lots of chat on the message boards, so just keeping everything in there. Hey, Clark wondering already, he's doing a Jeff. He is indeed wondering when the 3Gs will happen. Scribbling of the herd, just rolling to a slower stop. They're going to need to just pick his either jump back in very quick, or he's going to need to be jumping out and jumping back in again, which is the easy way to do this. But when you're on the group side of the back, you're going to save a whole lot of energy. Sit on the front, you're going to be burning loads and loads. I think one of the good things about tonight, tend to find people behave themselves to start off with, because it is just so long. There's none of this playing silly what's it's off from the start. That's doing Mr. Bolt at the moment. Let's jump in with our red beacon. We're going to jump in with Kuslux, one of the members of the Stellaton in here. And you can see got the red gear on, nice red matching socks, as well as having the red mitts on as well. Really good to see that. So brilliant to see these riders in there, like sort of like Finn just rolling his way in and around. And you can see that we've got Fiona on board. If I'm got my right person in here, it's Fee on her way around, Fee Lindley. So going to be another rider who we going to see where they'll be. Just tucked in nicely on here, just holding that wheel really smoothly. Just behind, looks like that's Phil Oliver. Just doing exactly the same, just sitting in the wheels and going for the best option available just about. You need an aero frame and you need a disc rear wheel today, and it is by far and away going to save you the most amount of energy out on the ride. And oh, look at that, Russ on an aero frame with a disc wheel. No surprises there. So Russ, he knows what to expect when we head out on this section of the world out in Watopia. Mountains shimmering in the distance. Now a few messages about Sakalobra. If you haven't seen it, it's a lot of big drop actually. The side that's come away, the big retaining wall section that's dropped away with the landslide. That is going to be quite a big fix. I agree with Andy Hawes, who's going to be a long time fixing that, because it's going to need a complete rebuild and up. So it'll be very difficult. So it's had a massive slide. The roadway and the supporting wall that holds the roadway up dropping away on one of the outside turns. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of a drop. It's going to be a long job, I think, putting that back together again. I mean, at the moment it's only open, actually you've got to have a residence pass to get past the security at the top. Oh, Russ tucked in there, quite nicely in. Yep, local close news saying it's just close to heavy traffic. It is actually when they're just now have a series of set of passes now for access. So just taking a quick check of our roads. Another trombite, very popular tonight. That's going to be. I think Emily Lockwood in here, and the quick riders could join us here today. Nick McDermott rolling along. There's that line in here as well. Gail Forshaw in here, Tracy Awesome, Terminator and Daisy Free in here, Paul Mallin in as well. Scotland on board. Darren Topless, what's it like in here? Bolt as well, Mr. Prieston, Dave Hopkins, and Chris Canham. Definitely a cast of thousands, but the group at the moment looking well as they make their way around this right turn. And the group basically pretty much all together. Kuslugs. I think I was a sheepdog in a former life. It's got to be the red beacon comment of the year. Love it. Just rolling at the back. So a quick reminder, if you are more than about 2-3 seconds today behind this man, you need to be running your way off and jump back in. Jump out, rejoin. Absolutely key. And that way you'll find yourselves not distance and not left for dead for the rest of the way around. See another group. Pillsworth just rolling to the back of the gang. Quick word from the Y stroke, someone who's watched more of these than I know what to do with myself. If you're not on the wheels as we come off the top here, you'll find yourself in trouble. Really is key. You need to be in with the group as you come over the top. Anyone stretching the group out here is doing serious damage to the pack and rather unhelpful, to be honest. So just keeping check on the back of this group. Gang rolling along nicely. They'll just make his way. We're going to take that left-hand turn. So Dale Williams just going to do an anvil test this way around. Place to do it, go off the back, and then let people know. And then you can test it dropping back on into the gang. Don't try to do it off the front, you'll end up splitting the group. It's really key. You see how quickly the gale, how quickly the gang is opening up. Dale just been checked on there on the way through. Dale Williams saying it's not very good. And you can see a few people here just being distance on the way down. There is a little chance to get back together again. We go right and down a second descent in a second. And this second drop down is not going to take this quick. So this drop down is going to split apart if we're not careful. Dale Williams rolling his way into the group. The gang in the back just pulling back together again, which is great. Looks like Daisy Frey just either doing a drop out or similar. So Daisy just been dropped to the back. Daisy, you're probably going to need to do a rejoin on the way through. Unless Daisy's, of course, due to go race. There are a number of people due to a race this afternoon, the ZRL. Let's dive back in with Tom Lindley. Tom nicely tucked in here. Starkey here saying my avatar's not got socks. It is a regular update issue. When you get an update, always check your avatar for socks. It sounds really crazy, but it's really important that you check, because obviously it shows a lack of complete cycling knowledge to not have steady socks on at all. You might even, if you did it repeatedly, be in danger of being labelled as triathlete, and that is key. And Richard Starkey said he isn't one. He promises. It really is key just to have a check. It is one of the regular glitches we see, that post-update, your avatar will suddenly lose whatever sock choice you have. I sometimes wonder whether or not the guys do it just to make sure that you actually do go into your garage every now and then and just check that you actually have all your kit and have a little look. So the group just coming up the ascent out from the tunnels and just making our way. We're going to take a right-hand turn in a minute and then start heading out over the bridges and up on to the climb of the Italian villas. So with the final of the wooden pontoon bridges, our riders go, and sweeping now up the long left-hand turn that brings us on, and then we have the big concrete bridge coming up and out. It's the bunch is having a little ripple on the way through. Looking like somebody's just dropping a bottle or something in the middle of the group. As we come up on to this little bit of an ascent around that left-hand turn, we go on to the big concrete bridge across the river and across the estuary point here. And as the gang take the way up. Now just watching Jimmy Allen, he's a Mondrian kit as we make our way up here. Jimmy, of course, sitting very comfortably on the saddle at the moment with his year's supply of skin chamois cream. So Jimmy Allen's going to be testing the Verskin Musher after his shot. It is, I can attest to this, absolutely amazing, particularly on very cold windy days. Really very handy. Jimmy's testing the Verskin Moisturiser after his shot. It's really good, a massive range of products, and the members of the DCG gang, 20% discount for members of the DCG gang for those people who are members, and a massive thank you. So, question from Finley Hudson, when will we go to ride in Scotland? And the answer to that is as soon as possible. A couple of people asking to do a flyby, and the answer is no. I'm afraid not. You can regularly get yourself on there. No, until events till March. At the moment, if you want to go ride with Russ. Russ is running some rides on there, and you can head there with Russ on one of the open rides on there. This was how Russ leading some rides on there this month. Simon gone bang? No, I suspect Simon has had to have a forced stop on the way round, and that's quite simply because he'll have had to do a stop and then come back. Generally, people who put in for a request for a stop generally need to do that rather than anything else. It's not necessarily going to be because they want one, it's because they need one. So someone running his back. Can be a dropped bit of kit or very similar. Tin bags. Talking to sponsors, every in real life ride at the moment is a Halo Wheels bib tights ride, Josh. Yeah, definitely brilliant. That's what we like to see. Tin bags winning full set of kit. £250 worth of kit going out from Halo Wheels to the winners who are in the gang. The rides on the Scottish route out on the DCG, as we see Mr. Runnit just whiz his way back in, all puns intended, into the front of the group. So one rider just off the pack at the moment. Just going to take a little bit of a run back to see who we're missing by a few seconds. Mr. James being distance here. Sir, jump out, jump in. I suspect you have a dropout issue. Anyone with dropout issues, jump out, jump in. You've got seconds to do it though. We're on 29 minutes. Everyone knows the drill. Don't chase the front. Leave it alone. Very important. So, our riders are currently on the far left-hand side of the circuit. If you remember our map that we pulled up earlier, as Russ says, cruise together, looking after the riders. The map basically taking this round. We're currently on that spit of land right by where the course description is. We're just approaching the volcano, which is the far left-hand point of the map. We're then going to make our way back around the side of the volcano and then in towards downtown, which is where the orange square is, just above the blue section. But at the moment, right where that blue blob is, just about to approach the island on lap number 1 of 2 of the Donny Chaingang live here, coming out to you as the riders head out round. The Chaingang today nicely controlled. We've got to say a big thanks to Russ, of course, our yellow beacon, and of course Kutlux, our red beacon, keeping an eye on everybody as we make our way down the side. It doesn't seem all that long ago, in fact it isn't, when we're going up the volcano to go head up on to the volcano after party. So the gang still nicely, pretty much all together. There's been a couple of people just disappearing off out the back. We dropouts by the look of it. Always worth that jump in, jump out if it's at all unstable before you run in to the start finish part. So if you get into that 30-minute window, if you can regroup, then always well worth doing on the way through. So the volcano on its way in and through, looking very nice as the gang make the way in and through the volcano. Good job being done there by Michael Hoyson. Koos looks one of our regular riders of the gang. He knows how to ride this, and it is of course that all the routes that we use is definitely one which is very good for the gang, and the lack of change in terrain, definitely one of those particular routes that does stop people from trying to jump it clear or pressurising when they don't need to. And that's really key to keep the gang together as well. So the gang looking good at the moment. All riders working their way around. Russ still nicely keeping everything under control. And looking at the moment like we're going to be making our way down in towards downtown very shortly. Let's jump in with Russ at the moment. Let's go in over the glass bridge in towards that right-hand turn. And the gang just making the way through. And everybody holding together well. So Russ at the moment, heart rate 90 beats per minute, 89 beats per minute, 47 revs per minute. So just turning those legs around. So on the way down, heading down into Walls downtown at the moment. Our rider's looking like they've got this pretty much dialed. And going all together, Russ 0 Revs per minute, just freewheeling his way down into Walls town. So just one little piece of news whilst we're all together riding down and keeping together. A number of you may remember a rider that we had on through the last winter particularly, Aaron Stone, youngster who has done a lot of time on the gang. Now Aaron, for those who don't know, suffered a collision over the weekend. He's riding for the Zappi racing team at the moment. And was in a collision with a speedy motorcyclist. Basically took him out on the road. He sustained serious injuries. He's hit by a motorcyclist out there. And Aaron, who has ridden on the gang all the way through pretty much last winter, so one of the things that kept him rolling through the lockdown, has had to undergo surgery. Now he's had 2 major interventions and a whole load of stitches, and he is now out of the danger zone and is starting to respond to his to the treatment. So a massive thank you to everybody who's picked him up out there in Colombia, and Aaron Stone doing an amazing job out there to get picked up, and got to say get well soon to Aaron, and a big thank you to the team manager there, Olga Aroso, for looking after him out in Colombia, and fantastic updates from the team out there. So get well soon, Aaron. We'll be hopefully seeing you back on the game, maybe even use it as part of your recovery. But Aaron, one of our regular riders, taking a bit of a hit out in Colombia. Well, still the gang holding. Looks like Mr. Priester just distanced at 3 watts per kilo at the moment. So just lost a little bit of distance out. Let's have a little bit of a look. Looks like Russ just sitting on the back of this pack at the moment, just making sure everybody's staying together. Well, Liam Callaway having to jump off at 1 hour for Baby Juice and go head that direction. Not surprised there. Looks like Michael just having to do a little bit of a patrolling at the back of the group. We've got Mr. Priest currently trying to get back in at 3 watts per kilo, but very difficult with the pace that the group is going. And we keep seeming to get riders disappearing off the front of the group. And that, of course, then means people chase the ball. They chase the riders in front, and then it rips the group up, so not particularly helpful. I love how reputations are forged and lost on the DCG. What you do is watched by everybody. So here we go. Just seeing Paul Simonite just rolling up to the front of the group, and the riders just keeping an eye on the back of this pack at the moment. So Priest pushing at 3 watts per kilo, looking like he may well see the shape of riders in the shape of the red beacon. So Liam is only just dropping back to go to the loop. Going to be heading back in again. So Cole just coming. Can you get back in? Can we get our man at the back in again? Here we go. This is the distance. It's a fair gap, is that? Going to be interesting to see. So let's try from Russ. So we're going to see, because of where we are, we're of course still quite a long way from home. So Mr. Priester, so they're coming back for you. They are going to try and get a group in here. And try and bring this group back. So this is going to take a few bodies going back. Brave move dropping at this moment. We'll take some serious control from the gang. So Russ, of course, only seen the 100 nearest riders. Let's have a look. Big old time got that. Not sure whether this is doable. We will see. It's definitely still coming down. Kooslugs is doing some serious waiting. That's going to give 2 rather than 1. I'll make life easier. So, Mr. Priester, that red beacon is your target. I think Keith Richardson is also sat waiting in here. So I think Kooslugs just saying we're going to put a new group together, which will be a bit tough on Keith Richardson because he's dropped back there. So Richardson, Kooslugs, Mr. Oxenham on the rocket up. Looks like Keith Richardson's going to be looking after as well. So Keith and Michael and Mr. Priester. Sir, you are going to be on red bus. It will form. Ding ding. All aboard, please. First, please. Well, Josh Mayland in the group going on in towards the archway. It is going to be time for our official lap counter to let us know that we are heading for the last run. One more. Let's go. One lap to go. So the bus about to form around our red beacon. I'm just going to see that start to pick up our 3 riders together. Now it's going to be a fairly fast red bus, I suspect, here. And they're fair moving. So let's see how they go. We've got right on group here. So we know that Andrew's been fairly shifted along. So they've gone back. They're going to give him a hand here. So Andrew and the gang. This can be an interesting pursuit because they are moving pretty quickly. Andrew Priest has been rolling at about 3 watts, 3 to 3.5 watts per kilo most of the way back. That group have got some serious work to do. It's 34 seconds to get up to the back of the pack, to the back of the group. So that's our chasing group trying to get into the pack. The problem is that the pack is moving. It's got strength in depth. It's got volume. So rolling along nicely. Keep on them wheels. Right, let's jump in with Russ. Let's get a few people upset. Always good when we do this at this point in time. We just do this just to get everybody worried. It's not because we actually know any different. But this, a great way to have people worried. Sit in and watch Russ. Round about the 45-minute marker. Oddly enough, everybody gets quite scared at this point. Could play the Jaws music. I love the shot when all you can see is the top of the beacon just appearing out of the gorgeway. Should we show you maybe some of our riders? Always good. So there we go. And with the group coming in to the gorge once again. Rainbow nicely shown just on the side of the screen. So 30k covered, 50 minutes time on the clock. Russ's heart rate now hitting 100. His heart rate is higher than the revs per minute. Love the way that the riders come in and through. Nice pack today, rolling well, and a pretty calm before the storm. Definitely a bit more of a cave this section here. Sworn away by the volume of water that would have been running through it once upon a time. Well, it's just up to his gears. Rest of the minutes just drop right down to 46. Absolutely love it. Rev's just changing. Onto a 55 ring. Is that a clear indicator as the bunch dodges another touch of wheels, another bottle on the way through? Not the most stable tonight, and this traditionally one of the most stable worlds that we visit. Shotboard getting quieter and quieter as the time ticks on. However, we're still in the Fuego Flats on lap number 2. We're still only at 33 kilometers of what is a 55k in total. Lots of distance to go. Lots of little rises on the way in. Mr. Cannon going. Steve Cannon done for tonight. Thanks, Steve. Steve joining us and has been down at Nonna's over the weekend, in fact. Great to have you down there. See you next race, Steve, hopefully. Thursday's run is going to be very different. So down past the petrol station, just making our way in. Just rolling its way along nicely. Here we go, the go has gone, go has gone. This is where it is, pedal to the metal. This is where it's all going to go. Chris Board taking a dive off, ready for Thursday. Good timing, that man. So here we go. The pressure is on. Let's take a look over the top. You can see Taylor at the moment really going for a quick wind-up. Nobody wants to get caught out here. And left behind as the acceleration comes. Russ has put a kick in here. Now, we're a long way from home. What is this going to do to the group? With the go, go, go at this distance in, we've still got a long way to go. There's going to be a lot of time for riders to get into groups to make the way back in again. But this is going to be a tough run to the finish here today. We're looking back at the group in. So let's see who's in trouble, who's holding the wheels. Looks like Mantis just rolling in along there. Looks like Jimmy Allen nicely tucked in here as well. Let's drop a little bit further back. Darren Topless holding the wheels nicely. John Garford doing the same. Seeley's in here. Looks like we've got Ruben tucked in. Chris Canham. Come on, Chris. Big push him. So Crave at the moment has got to put a bit of pressure on tonight to get himself up back into that leading group here. This is tough stuff at the moment, and I suspect that behind Darren we are going to see that gap open up. There's the shot going over Darren's shoulder. So let's see, Chris Cunningham is going for a slightly easier one. Let's see, he's going to be holding the group at this pace by the look of it. Bobby Mason, not all that far away. Looks like young Mr. Taylor as well, just tucked in to this group, which is a smart move. Find some wheels. So Benjamin Taylor tucked in nicely there with Morris Mason. Just coming up this slope, they've got Bolton, Fee Lindley, Andy Hawes. Just rolling in at the moment, just nicely on that group. Keith Richardson coming up to them as well. Dubash and Amit, not all that far away. The group, the Red Beacon group, I'll be brutally honest, are moving at a serious pace tonight. They're going to start picking some real bodies up, I think, on the way through here. And so Michael and Andrew, you're going to get some company pretty quickly, I reckon, on the way through, because it has blown to pieces on the way up this climb. And groups are starting to be fractured off at almost every stage. If you're not on the wheels, you go over this top section here, you're going to be in trouble. We're going to work our way, try and work our way slowly to the front. The trigger has been pulled, and you can just see that the wind up is on the front here. So Russ really putting the pressure on here. This group is the very front of the pack. Let's see how they roll down here. I think Blackburn is tucked in here nicely as well. So Joe Blackburn in here. Looks like we've got Tristan Emtage in the group. Dale Williams in here. Josh Mayland in from the gang at Halo. Russ, though, currently going on the front, just getting a little bit of a gap. Harry Howlett in here as well. Good to see Harry back on the gap. The two Max brothers are on here, just tucked in. The anvil is indeed rubbish there. Doesn't work very much at all. So Jimmy Allen, don't just drag the group back. Too right. If you drag the group back, it's tough. So let's see. Let's see what's going to happen to this group. We're going to get a coming together, I suspect, if this group just ease off the pressure. We're going to put the drone camera up, because this, I think, would give a nice indication. Group 1, Group 2. This could well become one group, and should become one group. And that is because the attempt by Russ, that move down there, didn't open it up. Everybody behind just easing off just that little bit. He's going to let this second group make contact. We're going to just drop in with it. Here we are. We're just riding up above group number 2, and they are now part of group number 1. This is your leading pack. It is still almost peloton sized, and you got a lot of riders in together. And as they roll down on to this slope here, it looks to me like we're going to be talking about I suspect it's going to be 55 riders up the road. We're going to just take a double check at the moment. That says 49 on there. We'll just take a double check on here. So I think going to be 49, 50 riders in the leading group. Rob Kennison in with us. Haven't spotted Rob in there till now. In group number 2, good to see Rob in with us. Rob out at the cross at the weekend, I understand. So good to have Rob on board. His avatar does look a lot like him, proper Silver Fox like for Mr. Kennison on his way through. Rob going aero kit, and nice kit as well, the Biking Beers jersey. So this is our group number 2. This, group number 1. 28 seconds, 29 seconds between them. Let's see how they get on. So into the tunnels to go. Next trigger point is the climb out. And that is literally just around the turn. Here we go. Past the big ray, just flying at the side. These guys absolutely rocketing up. They don't need fins to fly up here. They're absolutely giving it something. It's led by Lindley here, who's clearly making sure that he's right at the sharp end as they come over the top. It's going to be key. Look at the numbers going into the red there by people just trying to keep up with this pack. Nobody wants to get spat off the back of this pack. They'll soon be swept up by group number 2. They're about 30 seconds behind at the moment. Are we going to see another fracture? Is anybody going to let those wheels go? Don't want to be doing that at this stage. Looks like Dale Williams is on the front, just winding it up, just looking to see if he can maybe just put a few more people under pressure here. So hitting that 40k mark very shortly. At the moment, sitting in the wheels is key now. Just starting to see 1 or 2 people on the back of that group just struggling, I think. Just going to take a little bit of a run to the back of it. Now, I think Paul Malin is tucked in here. Wilson at the moment is distance. Danger ground. Big danger ground here. Wilson, I think, is going to be in trouble. Trying to push on here to get into the group. Come on, Ben. I think Ben now knowing that the next group, group 2, are going to be his destination. You're not going to pull back this fast-moving group as you go through. But the next group are not far behind, mate. They're 17 seconds and closing, and they're coming fast. Get some recovery, jump onto that next group. They'll benefit from having a strong rider in there, and you're going to benefit from that group. Meanwhile, this next section is we're seeing some splits occurring here. I'm just going to try and get a camera up high enough to get a view here. As we go along, you can see the gaps are opening. If you're not in the leading group with the yellow beacon, you're in trouble because it's split once again. So the group is fracturing. It looks like the back of this group is going to be by Alexander. They've got Haggart and Brown in no man's land at the moment, and the duo have got to chase now. 3 seconds behind to the pack behind, 3 seconds up the road to the group in front. Which way are they going? Are they going up to the pack? Are they going to come back into the grasp of the riders behind? This is going to be the crunch moment for them. So watching Haggard as Brown comes through this time. You can just see keeping on pressuring, keeping on trying to get into that group. 4.9 watts per kilo behind the chasing pack. They can still see that yellow beacon, and this is a big pack of riders with some very strong riders in here, and the slightest hesitation in that front group, and they are going to see this group drive back in and get back in touch. Our yellow beacon though up the road. Let's see how they're going to go. So Howler at the moment on this front group, nicely tucked in here. Let's see who's going to go. A few people suffering, but it's a course that really does encourage people to hang in as long as they can. Great to see the work that's being done in here. Richie Woodle in here, Sam Noxon in here. Tristan still nicely tucked in, buddy. Well done. Good to see him in there. Tom Hampton in as well. Davidson in there. Finley in there. Fulton leading the group behind. He's in this second pack. This is a second group on the road. They've got Brown in no man's land. I don't think that catch is going to be made. He's going to see the group coming behind. Hager already absorbed into that group. Marty Davidson still in here. This group is moving very quickly indeed. Well, looks like Russ on another little push up the road as Dale Williams goes up as well, just rolling along with Joe Blackburn in here. Joe always a force to be reckoned with on the WOW DCG, and the same here on the Donny Chaingang. Remember, tomorrow is the WOW DCG, women only Wednesday. Joe Blackburn regularly the rider to take out the window. Wasn't able to do that last time round. Saw legs, I suspect, from running just so many Chaingangs and absolutely flying. So our routes that we've got for our riders, we're going to be on the wasteland today. So going around the wasteland, right the way around the whole of the Watopia course. That is for the DCG. For the WOW DCG coming up tomorrow, got another cracking course, and that's going to be led by Tracy Seeley, our yellow beacon. Lisa Jane Lakefoss is going to be our red beacon. We're in Mercury Island, so we're doing the Mercury Island course out there. It's going to be heading out and around to 40k on the way through. That's going to be really interesting. That is the Two Village Loop. And then we're going to come back into Watopia on Thursday, and for Thursday's ride, it's the absolute opposite of this. Russ has picked two complete polar opposites. I'll let you work out which it is, but the members will know they're going to be heading up and heading away. Now, we do indeed have a new ghost. It is the man who has used it to good effect. He's up the road. He's gone and done it. Dale Williams has used the ghost to get a gap. He's used it on that downhill as well, but he just seemed to have backed off. Nicely done, mate. 10-second gap as well. It was a steamroller. There you go. Shows how closely I was paying attention to that descent, doesn't it? I'm going to plead absolutely being completely and utterly wiped after the last weekend over in Hogeheide. Right. We're saying they're coming for him. Yeah, he's a canny rider, is Mr. Williams. It's going to take some effort. The question goes up. Split them up at least, says Dale. Come on. Let's see. I think they're just going to leave him out there to dry. Let's have a look. Josh Mayland's definitely decided he wants to be up there. So it looks like Josh has decided he's equal to the task. Here he goes. Going to be an interesting one now. So Josh Mayland just getting a slight gap on Mr. Run It, just going after him, as is Lindley, as is Cass. Danger moment in this group as the riders start to react once again to that move made by Williams this time. And as the group starts to wind, this is where you're going to start to see the gaps open if you're not careful on the back of this pack. And just see everybody holding the wheels at the moment, nobody wanting to let this go. But remember, what are we running into? We are running into the little section of climb here, and this is where it's very easy to find the damage is done. You can see our group on the front there absolutely nailing it, and at the moment you can see that Dale Williams has that gap. He's got a little bit of distance on the group. They're coming up for him though. They're going to be Varty and Oxenham who are leading them through. Key moment in this ride, who stayed in and who has not. If you're on the back of this pack, you are in the danger zone. You're probably going to be in trouble. There'll be no chance of a flyby. And the riders at the back here are in. The riders behind are going to be fighting now. So Tristan Emtage, it's going to be Gary Sharp, we've got Mr. Colshaw, Gavin Colshaw in here as well. Alexander Taylor running. They've got to keep pushing. That's Group 2 behind there. So this is going to be really telling, because this is the back of the group, and there's enough bodies there to get this back together again, but they're going to have to work together. Sharp, Taylor, Emtage, Alexander, Runner, Colshaw have got to work. No worky, no play at the front. That's kind of how it's going to go, because you ain't going to make it. It's 8 seconds now from this group back, and I think that is going to be curtains for the group behind. They are going to be in their own little private Dante's Inferno, because they are going to be in trouble. 9 seconds down now. Emtage trying to pull this back with Alexander and Run It at the moment. Everybody needs to work together in this group. 11 seconds now. It's going out. It's not coming back. They've got to really keep on pushing now. The time gap's just changed back to 6-0. Will they do it? Remember, if you get dropped, it's usually for a reason. It's not necessarily in attention. We're just watching Tom Hetson come through there as a key rider in this leading group, but the pack behind now at 8 seconds. So here we go. Going to be a tough day at the office for everybody. I think there's going to be a lot of people really feeling this. Richie Woodall picks the pace up on the front though, and if he keeps on winding, I think there's going to be a few people just having some very sore legs. I'm loving the fact Tom Linley says, no, I'm not having a tough one. I'm not having a tough one at all. Let's see, Woodall pushing on here, just keeping them honest at the moment. I think on the front, just stretching this out. He's doing an effort here because he's sitting at 6 watts per kilo. Now, the group behind, they're sitting at nearer 3 to 4. This is allowing them to come back together again. It's about hanging in there now. It's about staying in the wheels, riding, surfing those wheels if you're in that group behind. Not doing too much effort, but at the same time, you know that somebody's going to keep on having a go. This is the Donny Chaingang. It ain't easy. It's the Donny Chaingang. Who's coming across the gap? It's Simon Oxenham. Simon, who had a quick stretch of his legs to get onto the back of the gang on the early part of the ride. Now sits on the wheel of Woodall. As this lead group goes down, they're going to be heading down into Wars downtown. This is your leading pack at the moment. And that group all together now as they come down this descent. This is your leading group, and this is all that is left of that original 102 riders on the start line. We have 20 riders or so up the road. We're going to just double check as we come in. 18, 19, ticking around 19, 20 riders. There we go. So 20 riders in the leading group. So the top 20 down the road by 12 seconds, chasing the group behind, not quite as big. Here we go, run into towards the line coming up. So key part of the ride coming for these riders who want to take the top spot here today, because we are making our way around now. We've got the long run and making the way down into Wars line. Yes, I think Russ is very aware of what the last run means, even if others aren't. It means the last lap. That was caught as we went underneath the rock arch. One more lap to go at that point. One full big lap of the circuit. Well, let's see. Going to be interesting to see who is going to take this out and round. Loving the different numbers. Got a few people on sort of 2s and 3s, our bigger riders, just turning some serious power out, and people like Gareth Mason, self-proclaimed the fat cyclist. He's not that fat, to put it mildly. Mason putting some serious power down, but sitting around at the 2.5 watts per kilo, while lighter riders who are in this group, like Joe Blackburn, having to do much higher watts per kilo for those numbers, being a lighter rider. People like Finley Hudson, and I'm sure Finley's going to have the same issue, that this absolute power that you need when you are going along the flatlands means that you've got to be producing more watts per kilo to start off with. Jeff Blackburn's watts per kilo, 500 watts, is heading for 10 watts per kilo for Joe, whereas for Mason, that's nowhere near that number, and that just shows you the difference in these riders now. Oxenham winding it up on the front once again. This is one of those slight drags which could start to do the damage to those sprinters' legs. Looks like Williams going over the top of Oxenham, so Dale Williams, Simon Oxenham, Phil Oliver is your order at the moment, with Mason sitting in the wheel tracks here. We're going to start to see a few of these riders suffering at the back of this group. So through they go up this drag. We're going to level out as we come past the right-hand turn for Titans Grove. There's another slight rise, and then it is flat all the way. Remember, this is all about getting your timing right for the run for the Rock Arch. Getting a sprint from here is almost impossible, because getting a kick away early has worked so many times before. Having the option of stealth is even better, and this is where we're going to see who had what, who has managed to pick up the infamous G. Will it be Ghost Mason? I'm not sure. We will see. I'm sure when we see his bike helmet. Please tell me you have on the side of your bike helmet Ghost on there, Mr. Mason. It definitely needs to be there. So Osman in here, Woodall, Varty, Pearson, Hudson, Mason, Liam Masoni in here. Real who's who of riders as they absolutely motored the way in. Russ leading this out at the moment. Just rolls back into that group. Howlett just moving his way up. Now this is about timing your turn on the front to perfection. You want to be in there. You want this group rolling nicely. You don't want to be giving the big sprinters too easy a ride, but at the same time you've got to be saving something for that final kick. Well, looks like Mr. Allen just gone for a long one here. He's only got a steamroller, not the easiest thing to have. In fact, it's downright useless on this section, of course, really. It's not going to help particularly. So used it on that section. The bridges, occasionally it has some use, but Jimmy just going for a broke here at the moment. Maybe he's all fired up. Did you get the chamois cream mistaken for the warm-up bar, mate? Well, he's going for it. He's gone. He couldn't sit still any longer. He's going to trainer to wind this up. And the work behind, interestingly here, it is going to be done by about 2 or 3 people here. We've got 2 riders there in Downing and Mazzoni. Howlett comes up, but Jimmy Allen is pulled back. And are we going to see a counter-attack now? So are we going to see a classic 1-2 over the top? Are we going to see somebody else have a go now? Isaac Oliver. Well, if we talk about ghosting, it was Oliver's ghost there. He's gone for it. The ghost has taken him clear. And look at this. He's got a gap. And this is a man you cannot afford to let go. Oh, my goodness. He's got a kick on him as well. And this is a dangerous moment. They're on this loop turn here. They come out from the loop. They take a right-hand turn. You're into the sprint at that point. He's got 4 seconds. Is Isaac Oliver going to be able to rip it up? Is he going to put it in the faces? Downing is coming after him here. He's not having any of it. So it's going to be Russ Downing who comes there onto the wheels of Oliver. Now Mason is with him. Well, watch out for Mason. If there's one rider who knows this finish inside out, it's Mason. He knows where he's got to kick and where he's got to go. But Isaac Oliver's moved there. Really put it in. Leon Mazzoni's coming up on his shoulder here. Mazzoni's going to come over him. Now Mason is rolling. Mason's winding it up. He's on the wheels. This is about timing. They're going for the Rock Arch, and I think Dale Williams here has got a good move. He's got a good kick. Has he gone early? Has he gone too early? Williams is now up at the front. He's got Mazzoni alongside him, and over the top comes Lindley. Lindley's coming at him. Is Lindley going to roll the throw here? He is. He's going to have him. It's going to be Lindley takes it. Lindley, what a sprint finish. What a wind-up. Even if anybody's got any legs left after that. Oh, my goodness. What a finish we saw on the Donny Chaingang tonight. That was something else. Tom Lindley wipes the floor with him. What timing. That was brutal. That was the most brutal finish ever.com. What a finish. The riders were just going until there was nothing left. Started and instigated by this man. Isaac Oliver, Isaac, hats off, chapeau, mate. That was some move, and that forced it. Brilliantly done. Nice riding. Now, next rider's in. This is going to be the run-in from group number 2. Looks like Simonite and Emptage are going to go mano a mano. It's going to be one-on-one here. Emptage has gone hard, and look at that. He's got ghosted here. So the man from Sitwell has ghosted him. Who got it? We don't know because he's been out of sight going through there. He reappears in front, but who knows whether he got that on the finishing line. That's one way to claim victory. So our riders on the way in towards the finish. This is our next pack. And this is the big group. That was a brutally fast finish as they came in to the end. If you only watch one DCG sprint unfold, watch that one. What a run in. So congratulations to all those riders coming in to the finish. We know that that has been a tough old night. It's going to be Neil Morn who's got the wind here. He's going for that finish. He's got Taylor and Martin really dealt with here coming in behind. I think we're going to see Martin coming and leading the charge behind, but it is the charge behind. Scriven is coming towards that line, but you can just see as they come in and through. That was absolutely brutal there. So let's take a little bit of a check. This is going to be our next group. Super quick night tonight on the Chaingang. First female finisher, Jo Blackburn, coming in and through. Amazing run by Jo again, showing just how fast she is. I'll tell you something. She's signing up for the race. She can ride like that on the road. That's going to be some incredibly quick legs out there. Now, here we go. This is the run for the finish. Who's going to get the wind up? Who's going to get the timing right? You've got to go long here. Celia's gone hard here, and she's really pushing. But look at this. Looks like Vin up here. Vin's got company, though, because you can see it's going to be Garfoot just to his right. But leading him through at the moment is John Gale. Has Vin got the timing? Has he got the power? They've got to go all the way to the line here. It's going to be Vin who's going to get it. So Vogger taking it. Where's Tonic? On the way through, goes in right behind a fantastic group chasing all the way in to the finish there, including Ruben McGlady coming through. Great ride and an absolutely brutal Chaingang here today. Gibbo just following that group in and through. What a ride. Fantastically quick out there today. So Keith Richardson just ahead of Ben Wilson, Mr. Forbes and Bailey, as well as Sir Rodney and Mr. Topless. That was one quick ride. Now, if you are not riding tomorrow, make sure that you get some recovery done, because you've got a brute coming up on Thursday. If you've been with us this far, you'll know we've touted it as having one heck of a sting. That sting is the Climber's Gambit. Complete opposite to this route. It is going to be a killer hill. Are we going to see Lindley make it 2 out of 2? Are we going to see one of our real youngsters take on that climb to the finish? Are we going to see maybe Jo Blackburn score the win on a course that's going to suit the power to weight ratio? We will see. That's going to be on Thursday. If you're one of our women riders, don't forget to the WOW DCG Red Bus, always full of drink, snacks and supplies. So make sure you get on in there. Brilliant to see our riders in there. And don't forget, of course, that we also have the gang who are going to be riding at the front So the WOW DCG on Wednesday. If you're out riding, have a look. Keep the check. Make sure that you know exactly what is happening with gang. Jump on the Facebook page. Loads of advice, lots of chat and banter on there. Don't forget, of course, get registered nice and early. Particularly important when we've got this change of scene. So Wilson going through just ahead of Sir Rodney. Good ride by Sir Rodney. Then it's Forbes behind. Then Bailey. Then it's going to be Chris, I think, just on his way in. He's got Bobby Mason, Chris Canham a little bit further back. I think Topless is in here with Trevor Crehan. So this is going to be our next group. They're in over that sprint line. As we know, 500 metres, it's a long, long way into the line. So don't forget, of course, to give Russ a follow. It is Fonzie Downing, Russ Downing. And make sure you follow at Downing Cycling for all the updates from the Downing Cycling Coaching Camp. Don't forget, of course, to give us a follow. It's at Matt Fix the Pain and at Biking Emma and at Full Speed Events. Lots going on, lots of great reels and lots of great action. We've got lots more coverage coming up. Going to be on our race coverage on Sunday as well. But what a ride tonight here on the Donny Chaingang here on Zwift. Fantastic sprint. Chris is going to take this. So that is going to be Chris Espejo going through, followed by Bobby Mason. Topless going through with Crehan. Then it's going to be Chris Canham. Canham with a bit of a gap here to Lee Linley, along with Taylor and Halls. So Halsey's Tours on the way through. And it's going to be Chris Canham, our next finisher here today. Don't forget, whilst you're on there, check out all the other events we are going to be at. We've got lots commentary going out. We were covering Esports Study Race Club on Sunday. Emma in charge of the coverage there. You can find the links to that on our social media feeds. Of course, covering for the BBC and for the world coverage. The Hurgaheide World Championships as the sprint comes in. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Lee who's going to take this. So Lee from Taylor from Linley. Another great ride by these three as they come in and through just ahead of Crabe. Then it's going to be Andy Horse coming in and through. Good to see Andy. Good to have you back on the gang once again. Then it's going to be Dr. D, who has a little bit of a gap at the moment. Wow. Fantastically fast finish here today. Well, I'm going to try and get my breath back. Don't forget, if you love this, if you want the gang to keep rolling, we need you. We need you. Your DCG needs you. We need you, if you can, to donate. It helps us with a whole load of stuff that we don't use for commentary and broadcast. It helps Russ because he doesn't need to do this. Neither do we. We do this because we love it. We love you guys getting out there and absolutely killing each other, and we get to watch it and talk about it. And just as importantly, though, we have a shed load of costs, kit that gets broken, and lots of streaming and lots of internet and all sorts of things that just you really don't want me to bore you with. Help us. Basically, join the gang. We then managed to put all that back into the chain gang with Russ and with them and all the gang and all the beacons, and we make it all happen. And all you need to do is just help donate. And do you know what? Say thank you. You spend your money with these guys, we get you loads of discounts. Yeah, magic in it. It's great. That's what we want. At the moment, it's Continental. It's a giveaway. We're going to be giving away some really, really special stuff. I can't even tell you what it is. I'm not allowed to. It is, at the moment, under a complete media ban. It is completely embargoed. I can't tell you what I want to. I'm desperate. I know what it is, but I can't tell you. So please, guys, make sure you join. We can give you some goodies on the way through. Don't forget, of course, we want you riding. So make sure you register. Good to see Dr. D back on here. Really doing a good ride. Imp makes his way in, goes over that line. That 3.5 watts per kilo, which means it's going to be our red beacon on his way in. So we're on that run into the finish. Get signed up. 20% off Gritty. Recorded the crosscast today. Oh my goodness. What a cracker. Make sure you listen to that episode. Download it. Subscribe on Spotify. Don't forget, OTE. 20% off. Don't even know where the bottle's gone in. I threw it away in the sprint. There you go. OTE. Absolutely critical. All riders should have some. Really, really important. Don't forget, of course, Fella's Skin. Keeping you sitting comfy, smooth as a baby's bum. Unlike this, which is like got the after effects of being out on Hurgaheide. 1080. Best shades of the business with Oakley. So make sure you get in there. Loads of discounts. You can see them just over there. Support the people who support your sport. Chain Gang needs you. Right, back to the ride. it is the one and only Kooslugs. It is going to be Michael on his way into the finish here. Thank you very much, sir. Sterling work as our red beacon. And that means Andrew coming in and across the line will make his way in and through. Good riding, buddy. So great to see our riders out on the gang. We are going to leave Mr. James. He's out on a ride, just getting himself up to speed with the gang. Good to see you on here, sir. Getting a bit of coverage on the way in and through. And that means, as we are going to leave him rolling his way in to the finish, it just remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. Thank you for riding. Make sure you get on those links nice and early so that you're in without a problem. Wow DCG tomorrow. Let's see if it can be as wow as that sprint finish. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.